everybody, good morning, happy Monday, and welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, and Disembodied Hands, Quinny, Disembodied Beard, John, and Kodiak. I don't think I've named you before. Actually, no. Let's give it to Crows, because Crows totally resubbed, right? Yeah, 31-month resub. Crows and Bones. 6-month streak. Woo! Good job. We love it. Oh, Kiki hears me being excited, and she's like, "What's up? Huh? Whiny girl? Did I not give you..." Oh no, I forgot to give her a chew. Alright, 1 second. The dog must be placated, guys. The dog must be placated. 1 second. I thought I remembered everything. Hold on, let me give you a chew. Yep, the Kiki rules the stream, let's all face it. Pickle juice. Ew. Placebo. Yep, placebo. Unless you don't get enough sodium, but most of us in America get way too much sodium. Because that's like the only nutritional value, I think. Yeah, pickle juice. As long as you don't turn into it, right? As long as you don't, if you're not what you eat, then you won't turn into a giant pickle like at Willy Wonka. Yum. I guess I can't really diss pickle juice because I used to drink dirty martinis. The dirtier, the better. And that's olive juice, which is just as silly. More for you, yep. More for you. If it helps, it helps. As long as you're not... but you should probably take some potassium to go with your sodium. So have a banana with that. Have a banana with that pickle juice. Or some coconut water or something. Something that's actually potassiumated. Yeah, miso soup. Yep. Yes. If you're gonna have something salty, yeah, miso soup is a really good one. Yum. I'm into it. I'm into the miso. Oh, dear. Alrighty, folks. Alrighty, we're here. We have a dragon, and we need to... Oh, no, where's my palette? There it is. And we need to continue on with this NMM journey so that I can get an idea of where the lights are on this model. And I still think I might bring up her face a little bit. Just a little on the top of her head. I feel like it could get brighter, but I don't know. I don't want to throw it out of whack with the whole thing. This is why I have to do this. This is why I have to paint everything else so that I can get a feel for how light or dark those scales are actually going to look. And you're just not going to be able to tell until you've got everything else in place. You're just not going to be able to. Just the way it is. Our eyeballs always adjust based on what's next to it, so it just ain't going to work. All right, so let's grab our colors we need. Blah, blah, blah. Everything else is up here because I use it all the time. Egg drop soup, yeah. Bananas are, well, so are potatoes. And people don't have any problems with French fries. I mean, isn't potassium technically slightly radioactive? I don't remember. What is it in bananas? Is it the potassium that makes them radioactive? Yeah. I'm reading actually a book on weight training because I'm going to start doing extra weight training, I've decided. I found a CrossFit idol. I was just doing random searches for CrossFit women that were older. Let's see if I can find it. And I found a Midwesterner, actually, so let's see if I can find images. She is like crazy. She was actually into gymnastics when she was a little girl, But she couldn't handle the anxiety of performing, so she dropped out. She actually trained with Mary Lou Retton, if those of us who are in the 80s and understand, remember her. But then she, like, became just, like, she wasn't, like, as overweight as me, but, like, she couldn't even do a push-up when she started CrossFit. And she won the Open for older people, the Masters. She won it in 2017. She went 6 years from not being able to do a single push-up to winning the Open for her age group. Which was, yeah, I know, right? Mary Lou Retton, apparently her family runs a gymnastics gym. And that's where this person started out. But she is, I would love to look like this, guys. I would love to look like this. That's her at age 52, by the way. Age 52. 1 year older than me. Or CrossFit Games, sorry. She won the Games. Which is pretty much the Olympics of CrossFit. So yeah, 52-year-old woman looks freaking amazing. Yeah, like, and she went from weedy, not able to do a push-up woman to that in 6 years. And won the Games. Sorry. Which is huge. Because only the top, like, I think the top 250 people in the world go into the game. So you have to be in the top 250 for the world to even compete. And then she won it. So, right, see, Kerniko? Yeah, there's people in their 80s who are lifting. And it's smart. I mean, it raises your metabolism because it builds muscle mass and all that. But I realized that I'm still a noob, so I got a really highly regarded book about lifting. And it also talks about diet. And it actually, I bought it because it's the only one that actually references scientific studies on this crap that you can go and look up. So, because you know me, science. If you're not willing to tell me how it works and why it works, I don't want your BS, right? And there's so much BS in the exercise and weight loss industry, right? There's so much, and weightlifting is no exception. CrossFit second place, who's in a wheelchair. Bummer. Did they hurt themselves, Zero is? Oh, wow. That's super. Yeah. Bodybuilding, firefighter, captain, badass of a woman. I'm in that. Right there. Part of it, but it's only about 40% twistonoma. 40%. 40% is going to determine, like, the length of your muscle fibers and, you know, like how you look when you build that's going to be up to genetics. Everything else though, and that's over half is not genetic. So, but yeah, she's got the genetics to build that muscle, right? I may not, but I also may, because I'm actually the right body type for it. Because us shorter, broader in the shoulders, thinner in the hips folks who tend to add weight to the abdomen apparently also tend to build muscle a little easier. And I found that in CrossFit from how it's not been easy, but it's been like fairly simple to ramp up my weights, right? Oh, before she started CrossFit, she was in a wheelchair. Holy crap, Arrow is. That's amazing. That accident that paralyzed her and she got back through CrossFit. Holy crap. I believe it, but oh, the determination that must have taken. Like, that's so amazing. What am I doing today? Where's my russet brown? Where'd it go? I'm just losing things, guys. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing... Did I move it? Oh, there it is. There's my extra bottle. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. It's hiding behind my body build. My inspiration is hiding behind my inspirational elf, everybody. It figures, right? Yeah, that's amazing that she was able to come back from that. I mean, but people do freaking amazing stuff, right? When they really care about it. And that's like, everybody thinks these people are exceptional, and they are because they followed through. They believed and they followed through, right? Step 1 is believing. And step 2 is following through, no matter what it costs them, right? And I think I think every human has the strength to be able to do that, but it just is the right thing, right? If you're not motivated by X or Y, if you don't really, if that's not your jam, you have to be highly motivated or really care about it, I guess. I hate to say motivation because people feel like motivation is beyond them, but caring about something is something that everybody can do. They're really the same thing. If you care about something, you'll be motivated to do it, right? Yeah, that's amazing, Arrowways. So yeah, so there's my CrossFit inspiration mini, guys. I'll never have that size of waist, though. My waist is wider than that. I'm not a wasp-waisted Ann. But the rest of it I can aspire to. So we almost finished this model on Saturday. We're just doing some of the last leather bits next weekend. And then I gotta do the base. So all right, let's get on Dragon here. Let's get our paints mixed up. Amazing speaker. Oh, yeah. Yeah, number one, Shelley Eddington is her name, by the way. But yeah, she started out, she was thin, but she was out of shape, like completely out of shape. Flabby. When you only like, I think she started at like 140 pounds, which was with no muscle mass. And then she started losing, like she felt that she was really losing her strength because she was teaching little kids gymnastics, and she felt like in her 40s she could tell she was losing strength and that she was really kind of pathetic at that point, and that's what drove her to weightlifting and CrossFit. Yeah, Amy Van Dicken. Okay, cool. I'll look her up. I'm gonna look that up. They are not. Motivation and mindset are not the same thing, actually. And let's talk about this because it's about mini painting too. So hold on, let me just look up that name, Amy Van Dicken. I'm totally going to read her story afterwards. Thanks, Erwiz. You know I love story. Oh, she was a former gold medalist, if I've got the right name. Hold on, maybe I don't. CrossFit. Let me look up CrossFit. Oh yeah, doing stuff, wheelchair. Yep, pretty awesome. Oh, she's Arizona. AZ Central's done numerous articles on her. That is so cool. That's so awesome. Adaptive CrossFit. Sweet. That's so cool. So motivation versus mindset. So anybody can get motivated. But not everybody has, like, mindset is how you think about growth and how you think about your own ability to accomplish something. Like, I would class it as that. Because, like, people will use the term growth mindset. If you have a growth mindset, you believe that you can always improve, right? That there is possibility for growth. I forget what the other mindset is, like static mindset or something like that, but the opposite is, and most people are on the continuum between these, of course, just like everything. But the other opposite is you think that everything is predetermined, you're stuck with your genes or whatever got you here, and you can't improve, right? So a lot of us will fall somewhere between those two extremes, right? And this is why I kind of like went woomph when you said the genetics thing about musculature stoma, because you're right, but you're not all right, right? You're 40% right, but the other 60% is do you lift weights? How do you eat? Do you exercise? What's your metabolism like? What's your lifestyle? That kind of thing. So with mini painting, a growth mindset would mean that even if you're a little bit over into the growth, if you're kind of between them, you probably waffle back and forth, right? You get kind of downhearted at times, and then you believe you can do it at times, then you get wah, but then yay! So for you who waffle, the best thing you can do to support your mindset and your motivation, the urge to do stuff, because obviously if you feel like you can't do it, if the cards are stacked against you, your motivation dies, right? It's like they're separate but linked. But if you feel like you can do it, then your motivation goes up, and then you can do it, right? So they're linked but not the same thing. So the thing that I would say if you are somebody who wobbles a lot, who doesn't believe in themselves one day and does believe in themselves the next day or the next week or the next month or the next year, the best thing you can do is to find yourself cheerleaders, people who will be your friends, mini painting friends or any other friends, who believe that you really can do it. People who can really talk you up, people who will always like be like, no, that's okay, it's just a setback, you'll have this, you can do it. You know, those kind of people. Those kind of positive people who will believe in you, that you can also help by believing in them. Like, those are the people you want to find. You definitely don't want the people who are like, well, or I don't know, maybe you just should throw it out, or any of those people who are serious when they say, oh, I just looked at that model, I just want to break my brushes, or throw them out the window. It's like a lot of people say that as a joke, and that's totally a thing. But some people really mean it. They get really down when they see a good example. Instead of getting uplifted and inspired by it, they just compare themselves to that, and they boom, and mindset and motivation just like tunnel. And if that is you, don't look at that stuff. Like, if you know that is that stuff, nobody out there is going to tell you that you have to look at other people's mini painting to be a good mini painter. Like, you don't. You're going to be working a lot harder because you don't have examples. But you know what? You can find people on YouTube that don't show you the finished product, or you can stop before you see the finished product, and you can just look at technique. You know, a lot of my stuff, actually, because I'm not showing you the finished product, I'm showing you stages, right? One, that's just easier for me to do than paint a whole model for one lesson, right? That's just not going to happen. But any of these in-between streams are also good because you can see the model at the ugly phase. I go through ugly phases too. My models all do. Some uglier than others. Some models don't really have, they just have a tiny ugly phase, and then you go boing, and you go past it. Some models you slog in the ugly for a long time until it finally tips over, right? You can become the evil GM if you really want to. Yes. Yeah, you can. I mean, if you want to be there. It's you, right? Be yourself. But just keep in mind, those are some tips. If you tend to wobble, find a friend or a couple of friends who mini paint, who can believe in you, and you'll believe in them. Like, you will be each other's unicorn and friend, right? I will believe in you if you believe in me. So do that, and if you know that looking at really, really top level miniatures just makes you feel sad and tired, just don't do it. Just enjoy your own painting. Don't look at all that stuff. I don't go to Putty and Paint. David thinks I'm crazy because I don't spend a ton of time on Instagram or Putty and Paint looking at what other people are doing. But sometimes, guys, I just look at those things and I just feel how tired. I just feel tired because I know how much work went into that project, and I often don't have the energy to finish out something that these other people are doing. It's just, I don't, right? And that's okay. But then I know that I react that way, so I don't go to those places. I can still look at a really good model and get inspired and excited. It just depends. I'm not always like that, and so I have to watch myself. So more often than not, I just won't go there. If David shows me a pretty model, I'll be like, oh, cool. Or if I see a really nice box art, I'll be like, oh, yeah, nice. Or if Luca's painting something on stream, I'll be like, sweet. But I don't sit there and just scroll through all these immense projects that, for all we know, took people, 8 months to do, or more. And it can dishearten you. And if you understand that that's part of your psyche, don't feed that dark part, right? Just sit down and enjoy and paint. Just paint. Just do your thing. And if you want to get better, try to find work in progress videos that are going to show you the process, and don't dwell on the end product. Find what you need to know and then turn off the video and go and paint something. So there you go. That's my thing. So yeah, mindset, motivation, very much linked, but mindset is king, and motivation kind of tags along. Think of mindset as the mama dog and motivation as the puppy. If the mama dog says everything is awesome, the puppy gets all happy and motivated and jumps around and plays. If mama dog says that everything is not awesome, puppy goes, oh, I should hide, oh no, it's scary, it's that kind of thing. Yeah, no in between. You're either boom or boom, yeah. So for you, Kerniko, you need us to cheerlead you. And you have some cheerleaders, right? A lot of us here on stream cheerlead for you. And whatever you do, and this is why I worry about you, because of some of those stupid people in your gaming groups and stuff, and your local GW store or whatever, who are so down on you and the way you paint. I worry about your exposure to them, and I think maybe you should just, like, try to cut down your exposure to them as much as you can if you haven't. Because you're going to feel better about your painting and get more positive, like, energy out of it the more you avoid those people. So you have a growth mindset. That's good, Zachariah. Like, you have a very balanced growth mindset there. Keep painting, and I'll slowly get better. You have faith in it. You're committed to it. You know, you're going to throw your heart over that finish line, and you're going to, like, just keep rowing toward your heart, right? That's the slow and steady wins the race type of thing, right? Yes, right. All of us who cheerlead you, Kuro, we're there for you. We're there for you. We are. Absolutely 100%. So... Right, see, so take our stuff to heart. Surround yourself with people like us who believe in you and who know that the awesome that you are capable of. And, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't need toxic people. Like, I hate to say this, but I have actually separated myself from two people who were very good friends of mine while I was in Texas, but who are so negative that I just can't have it anymore. Like, I just can't do that. I can't be there. And I feel a little bad. But at the same time, it's like, I can't. That it's so bad and draining and the drama and all the thing, and I just can't do it. I can't do it. So, I mean, sometimes you gotta do that. If you've got a very susceptible, some of us have big hearts. I have a very big heart. And I keep giving people chances, right? But there does come a point, I had to train myself, and there comes a point when I just can't do that anymore. Where I have to move on and actually use my energy for me, you know. And it's selfish, right? Selfish. But sometimes we have to be selfish. Ah, hearts, Crow, hearts. Kiki would totally come and lick your face right now. But your cats would, like, probably attack, so... Kiki coming to lick Kerniko is the moment Kiki becomes deathly afraid of cats. As some cats flee and other cats attack. Yeah, right. If a lot of us are very emotionally sensitive, right? So having people around us who are really negative or always immersed in drama, it can be a bad thing. It can be terrible for us, really toxic to us. So, yeah, you got to keep an eye on that. A lot of times, this goes back to the thing I was talking about a little while ago, which is that a lot of what we think is our motivation or lack thereof is actually tied to our environment and the stress that we're undergoing at the time. And it's so entwined with us and so entwined with our environment that, oh, no problem with Zachariah. I love sharing this stuff because how else are you going to learn it? Like, people need tools. People need tools. I never had tools. I had to search this stuff out, listen to infinite audiobooks on self-help and psychology, you know? And only now do I feel like I'm kind of getting my shit together, guys. I'm 51. So yeah, it's been a while. If I can save one person, I'm in. But yeah, so... But it is like that. It's like sometimes it's not your motivation. Sometimes it's that your job is stressful, or you had a fight with your spouse or your friend, right? Or you're really like agonizing over whether you should quit something that, you know that for you should quit it, but that other people really don't want you to, right? Friends of yours, people that you respect, or people that you're just afraid of facing them, right? Things like that can kill your motivation and energy to do creative work. And it's not you at all. It's not your fault. It's not that you have low motivation. It's that you have a stressful environment. And who knows how long it's been stressful, right? And who knows how much more time it will be stressful. And often that means you have to take steps to try to reduce your stress levels before you can create. Oh, okay. Loki thinks he's a dog, so Kiki would be happy and Loki would be happy. Kiki's always very curious about cats. She hasn't had a bad experience. Yeah, life is too short for toxic people. Agree. Right. It's very personal. It's just not right for you. Yes, exactly. Because the people who I'm thinking of are great people. Like that's what makes it hard. Is that both of those people were good friends, and both those people were really like, important to me once upon a time, and but it's just it doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. The energy doesn't work for me. Yeah, and it's just sometimes it's hard to disconnect, and sometimes you just kind of have to do the no, it's me. I'm just stressed right now. Sorry, can't deal with it. Bye. I'll get back to you eventually, and then you don't. uh, yeah, and it is the people you surround yourself with, because that's part of your environment that's going to like add stress or detract or pull stress away from you, right? And those are the things that can really impact you. Alrighty. I'm just going to continue mixing up paint. I got so enthused and distracted by the discussion that I have not mixed up paint. Basically a dog. And he tries to eat miniatures, which dogs also do. So there we go. Yes. No, Tristoma, it's true. As you get to be a crotchety old person, you get the license to tell people, I'm not going to deal with your shit. Yep. The sad thing is that most of us should have come by that license decades earlier. It feels better eventually afterwards. Yep, Carrie, I'm with you. Yep. It's just like, to do the things I need to do, to be the person I want to be, I needed to sever those ties. I'm a much happier and less stressed person now because of little incremental things like that. We're eating minis today? Did I say something that can be taken out of context? Youngest cat to a puppy. Yep, still chews on the couch and follows you around. Yep. We're talking about mindset and motivation and how stress influences them, Gibson. That a lot of people think that they're just not motivated, or that they're not, or that they're lazy, or that they're not, capable of following through on a project. When in reality, it's that their environment is so stressful that they just don't have, it kills the capacity for creative work. Oh, we were talking about whether Kerniko's cat was a dog, and how many of her cats, if Kiki tried to lick her, would how rare of her cats would flee, and how many would attack. Apparently Loki would be friendly, so Kiki would be happy. She could have a cat friend then. Talking about your toddler. Oh, you guys. So funny. All right. Got our rich leather. We've got our lantern yellow with a drop of rich leather in it. We've got our mix of lantern yellow and white. And we've got... There we go. And we've got our pure white. So we've got our complete gold NMM. Who's it? I do want to mention for gold NMM, a lot of people will glaze with different colors afterwards. I've seen people do a saffron sunset glaze if they want to really light up the yellow kind of feel for that. People also use oxidized brown or ruddy leather to do a glaze in the shadows to make it more reddish. So you can go for red or even harvest brown to get a more orange shadow with your gold. So... Yep. That's it. Yeah. Awesome and encouraging people for the win. But yeah, so that's what my writing coach was the one who brought my awareness to that, was just the fact that most of the time the difference between a really productive day and a totally shit day, and that's the second time I've sworn on this stream, Twitch, don't ban us. Well, at least I'm not Ed. I'm channeling you, Ed. I'm channeling you. Um, is the amount of stress. Like a very stressful day will lead to you feeling like you didn't do anything useful, whereas a stress-free day, you get a whole bunch done and you feel really happy about yourself and you're like, oh, maybe I'm a good person after all. But in reality, it's not you, it's your environment. Now, of course, you do have some factors, right? If your energy levels are low for various reasons, just because medical or other stuff, that can totally impact it. But there's a huge impact from environment. No, I'm channeling Ed, Gibson. I'm channeling Ed. Oh, we all think of Kuroniko whenever we start a dragon. Like, let's just come out with that. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. When you start painting a dragon, chat, who do you think of? You channel the Kuro energy. That's right. Yeah, I like the common cold. Yep. Yeah, because of course when you're sick, that's the same thing. Or if I personally like don't exercise for a few days, I start to feel really sluggish. And by exercise, I mean just walk or whatever. I have to at least walk. If I get my walk in, I can avoid feeling like a slug, but... Alright, I think we got our colors. I think we're good. Let's get close up and begin. I was doing the shoulder pad. I feel like I'm okay, but I could do a little bit more highlighting on that. A 2-scale paper mache dragon. Wow. Yeah, Thormel, that's crazy. 9 layers per scale. Yep. I did a dragon like that. My Wood Elf Forest Dragon was like that. I actually sold that sucker when I was about to move. That's some serious love for dragons is what that is. We're being supportive here today. We're not making fun of each other. We're totally being supportive. Even if I haven't dropped an F-bomb. I'm not totally channeling it. But we're being positive and supportive for our friends in chat today. But yeah, so anyway, reading about that particular CrossFit Games winner, female, older woman my age, inspired me. So I decided it was time, because I've been a little I really enjoy CrossFit, but doing the games or doing the Open, because we had the last session of the Open this past weekend, made me really like want to be fitter, right? Like, I really want to be able to do a pull-up, right? Really, like, pull-ups were on the thing, and I couldn't do, like, I had to do jumping, like, chin-over-bar pull-up. I just barely managed 2 of them, and that's it. You know, I'm really kind of was sad about that. And so I got motivated, because that's what happens when I get sad. I'm like, you know what? If I worked at it, I could do this. But the problem with CrossFit is that it's not focused on any one activity, right? It just aims to make you fitter in general across the board, which is great. But if I want to do a pull-up, I really need to like get my shoulder muscles up there. And we don't do, there's like one exercise that can help with that we don't do. And so that made me like think, well, maybe I should do that at home. And then I started looking into more. Because CrossFit is not strictly weightlifting. It's cardio and weights and high intensity. So it's a mixture, which is cool because it's always different and you never get bored. And you learn a lot. And your general level of fitness comes up when you do CrossFit. But yeah, I decided I want to work on things maybe a little bit outside of the gym. Which is good because I bought weights this Christmas, if you guys remember. Oh, Kodiak. Yes, black dragons. Black dragons are easier to paint because you don't have to paint the scales as much because fewer layers. Because much of it stays black. You are absolutely correct, Shadow Raven. Hello, Damien. Damino, 11. DA. Hello. I'm Anne. I work for Reaper Miniatures. I've worked for Reaper Miniatures for over 20 years now. So you know it's a good company, or I would have left a long time ago. And then we're working on my Dragonkin Paladin here. She was looking very dark, and so I decided I needed to actually finish the gold on her to get an idea for if she really was too dark, if I needed to lighten certain areas of her. So that's what I'm doing today. Did me know? Yeah, get into lifting, for sure, Gibson. Shading black? You don't need to shade it. Kodiak, don't shade it. Just don't do it. Nice. I ordered a bunch of stuff. I ordered kettlebell, slam ball, barbell, plates, all that stuff for Christmas. But yeah, the thing about black is you don't need to shade it. No. Okay, so Kodiak, paint the thing black and then leave 75% of it just black. Don't shade it, just highlight. And only highlight a small amount of the surface. And you're done. Black is actually so much easier than you think. David would have loved that. He loves red and turquoise, Cornico. So just taking and bringing in my highlights on these gold bits here, and there's a little bit up there too. I feel like I let my, sadly I let my mix here get a little bit too weak, so I'm going to actually build it up. And I know that's a 50-50 white and lantern yellow, so I'm just going to put one more drop of lantern in there and one more drop of white, and no more water. And that'll help strengthen it to something, I feel like, because I feel like it's just too weak. I'm having to build up. It's good for like seamless layering right now, but it's not good to build up highlights more quickly. There. See, blue is my least favorite color to paint. Red is my favorite, I think. Alright, so I'm going to test this and see if it's better. Oh yeah, much stronger. Good. Excellent. It just, when you feel like you're going to, see there's that little highlight that I just put in. When you feel like you have to paint it like 7 times to bring the highlight up, it's too thin. Add more paint. You should be able to see the difference. Maybe when you're doing big stuff and you're trying to do seamless blends, then you want to almost not see the difference, but for this little stuff, most of the time, you want to see it. So again, we're going to just kind of keep a little shadow up here, and I'll put a shadow in there after I highlight up these end pieces. So it's going to be shadow, shadow, and then shadow, shadow, and then we'll highlight up the bottom. So again, alternating light and dark on little 32 or 28, 32, whatever we're painting these days, helps to give you that kind of feel for NMM, even though it's technically not correct. But it can be very hard to do technically correct NMM on very small models because of the scale. You can do it on some. Oh, 1 second. Dungeon lasers, Balor, 220 millimeter tall. Yeah, use bigger brushes for sure, and start with an airbrush, seriously, if you can. If you've got an airbrush or if you can acquire one. The airbrush will help you essentially not only prime and base coat, but also on something that large, you can actually do highlighting and shading with the airbrush and then just come in for the details. It's going to make the process so much easier for you, and you're going to be so much happy, so much less stressed about it. However, if airbrushes stress you out, then big brushes and lots of paint are the answer. I would probably not do a traditional base coat with it. I would probably do shaded base coat where you block in things. You also block in highlights and shadows with wet blending as you go. Something James Wapple taught at ReaperCon a couple times, long time ago. It's kind of a variation on what he often does on stream. I'm just catching up with chat here. Hold on. Which company is this with the Balor? What Kickstarter are you guys talking about? Not that I need any more models. Archon, Dungeons and Lasers, got it. I'll look at it later. Thanks. And then there's this little plate down here. I'll go and pop that on my phone real quick so I don't forget it. Kickstarter. There we go. Dungeons and Lasers 3rd edition. Alright. Oh, I see. It's late pledge. Wow, well, they got a lot of support. Neat. I'll take a look at it. Oh, it's called Caves. It's running right now. Okay. Let me look. Apparently they do a lot of Kickstarters, huh? Caves. But it's Kickstarter? I'm not finding it. Oh, I see. There's a thing on the Reaper Mini forum. for them. All right, there. That should put me where I need to be. It's on Game Found. I see. Just on Game Found. All right. Got it, got it, got it. Yeah, for sure. It was much recovery needed. Yeah, I feel it. There we go. So now I'm brightening the highlights all up and down because this is a cylinder. It wraps around the arm. So the highest highlight should be where the light's coming down the front. Yeah, I just didn't think it was, I didn't realize it wasn't on Kickstarter. Alrighty, so that's pretty good. A little bit of a highlight over here. Yeah. Alright, I'll take a look at it. I don't really... I've been very good lately, and I did just order a bunch of stuff from Games Workshop, so probably don't need to spend more money, but I'll look. I'll look. My willpower's gotten pretty good about that these days. I can look at it, and I pretty much can tell if it's totally up my alley or not. But I've gotten pretty selective, because I'm running out of room. You do have an airbrush? Alright. Yeah, I would do most of it. On a 200 plus millimeter model, I would do most of it with the airbrush. I mean, this is, I've got 15 millimeters here, and 15 millimeters is 6 inches. So it's going to be, 8 inches tall or more. And that is totally airbrushable. And you should. You should airbrush, pretty much start with your shadow and work up. Yeah, and do practice beforehand. Remember, you also want to practice on a piece of paper seriously. Aaron Lovejoy has some great exercises that I think he showed on like the Vex streams, House of Vex on Reaper. Reaper, you should be on the Reaper YouTube. Where like he's practicing, he just draws out a grid, and then he practices putting a dot from his airbrush in the middle of each square. And that is, for real, that's brush control for airbrush, is what that exercise is. So, for sure, get some of those exercises down, play around with your airbrush, practice doing a bunch of dots all in a row that are equal size, because what that does for you, sure, you don't need that to put the primer on and the base coat, maybe even not for your first highlight, but if you want to do more work with the airbrush, being able to be precise about it is what's going to let you like maybe highlight the face, right? And things like that. So the more you can build your control with the airbrush, the more you can do. And then when it comes down to the brush work, you don't have very much to do at all. You just have like, little to essentially do the fun stuff, the details, right? So yeah, it's definitely worth it to put just a little, like maybe even just a little time on the weekend before that arrives. Just like sit down with your airbrush and practice doing little dots all in a row, keeping them, controlling the amount of spray and the size of the dot, and not getting a bunch of overspray like runniness. And if you even put that much time into it, just like an hour on the weekend, that'll put you miles ahead when you come down to the model. Oh yeah, I'll take a look at it later, for sure. Alrighty. Let's put in some shadows on that NMM. Yeah. Well, lots of practice on the airbrush then. But yeah, I would do those exercises, then I would try to do a dragon, as you were saying, practicing on a dragon, instead of just going straight to the dragon. I would try those exercises first. Putting a shadow in here. Just on paper or cardstock. Then go to the dragon, do a base coat. That'll help you a lot. Get comfortable. It doesn't take long to get comfortable with the airbrush. And if you're doing big things like that and you can group them together, it makes total sense to whip out that airbrush. My big thing is I just don't use it for everything because I hate setting it up and breaking it down. So it's more like, I think my attitude toward the airbrush is more like my attitude toward our 3D printer, where I'll save up a bunch of stuff that I could use it on, and then I'll do it all at once. So that I only have to, set up and clean once. Yeah, watching someone at least gives you some ideas, but it's no substitution for doing it yourself. We can only learn so much by watching. You can only learn so much by watching me do this. Then you should go practice it. Then you should come back with questions. That's the ideal way, If you were really going to get the most out of this show that I do every day, the best thing to do is to, look at one thing I'm doing and then go off and try to do it. And then maybe in a day or two you come back and say, and I tried X and here's where it gave me trouble and what was likely the cause, And you pretty much have me here answering your questions for an hour and a half every day, except for Sundays. Use it. There is no need to start using your airbrush, Kodiak, but if you are doing big things, then it makes sense for you to learn to use the airbrush. If you're planning to do a lot of dragons, big monsters, it makes it much faster and easier to learn the airbrush. So you don't need to, but you can if you wish, and if you do large models, then it is advisable. You don't have to, though. I usually don't. I usually just brush, but I also don't do big dragons, And if I was thinking about actually doing a huge dragon like Meldrakar anytime soon, I would learn the airbrush. Or relearn it, I should say. Oh yeah, talking with your dad, sure. Yeah, if you've got a knowledgeable person that can help you with the issues or the hang-ups that you get. All right, I'm going to do a highlight down the back of this too. Yeah. I think I'll focus. Let's focus on the front first. That way I can get these all figured out. Oh, and she's got an earring. I got to remember that one. And I think I want to do her claws today. And her horns. Want to get all the light stuff done on this model. Then I can see where I'm at. Airbrush Asylum. Yeah, you don't need to. If you have a big flat brush, it works just as well. And you could do some wet blending. when you get those big brushes, don't buy the Kolinsky Sable. I mean, they're too expensive. Use some cheap synthetic. You're just using it for base coat and rough blend, so it doesn't need to be a super special brush. Well, I mean, the GW videos are a good starter. That's the thing, right? And I think I need to actually strengthen my white a little bit too here. Yeah, mobile can be pretty crappy. Often I find I have to go to a desktop for some of these websites. I mean, if they want to like the GW videos are a good starting point, like honestly. And then if they accomplish that, that gives them a real sense of pleasure and like accomplishment, then they can decide if they want to push it further. I mean, that was my ex. He could not paint. And then he started watching Duncan's videos. And he actually learned to paint decently, and he like felt a sense of accomplishment in it, but he never felt the need to go higher. He got serviceable results that he was happy with because they were so much better than anything he'd done in the past, and that's where he decided to stay. And that's fine. So yeah, that white is stronger. Okay, good. So now, oh, Papa, so grumbly. Papa's been regressing lately. She's hitting that teenage dog period where they forget all the rules and think they can be all bossy again and bratty. So we're having to be firm again. This totally happens. Be aware, Kodiak. Be aware. This happens with shepherds in general, and it can happen with dogs in general, but there will come a point during their adolescence, somewhere between year 1 and year 2, where they will forget everything that they have learned and be bratty again. It is just a stage. Be ready for it. Doing some dark shadows right around this white highlight. Ah, okay. Yep. Yeah, Kiki's going through her phase. Like, she started pulling on walks again, and she's been fussing and barking at us when she wants something, which is not what we encourage, and stuff like that. So, silly Papa, going through her phases. Alrighty. Can't do much on this little tiny dagger hill. Oh, jumping. Yep. We found it that the most effective thing, although it will take forever, is to just turn your back and to not engage. Walk away. Turn your back. If it doesn't stop, walk away and put yourself behind a gate. Then come back once the puppy has stopped jumping. If the puppy jumps, turn right around and march back through that gate. Kiki always wanted to just be with us, and so the whole walking away to a room she couldn't get to got her the opposite of what she wanted. And yeah, we went through that too, where they just started jumping again, so. So yeah, they do get springy. They want to engage with you, but it's not appropriate. So yeah, you'll get there. I'm sure you've got it. You seem to have handled everything with equanimity so far. Oh yeah, see that's gonna make it 50 times harder. Like, and maybe sit down with your family members and tell them that essentially, if you don't like this behavior, not doing what I am doing is going to mean the behavior goes on longer. You know, have that discussion. Because that's the hard part, right? When you've got kids or you've got older adults in the household and they just don't get it, right? They're just like, no, don't do it. And they think they're doing, you know, they're willing to argue with you about it, but it's like, nope. And at those times, sometimes it can be helpful to lay down the rules for your family members. It's like, my house, my rules. But I know that doesn't always work either, so good luck. That's what I'll say to you. Good luck. Hopefully you can get them to understand. Like, if everybody wants the puppy to stop jumping, everybody must do this thing. Because, yeah, you're right. It's hard. Because, yeah, it'll get uncute really fast when she gets big, as you know. But I'm sure you got it. I'm sure you got it, Kodiak. You'll figure it out. You seem to have so far been very competent, which is awesome. And seem to understand that they need structure. These dogs need structure. They can't just like rule the roost. Add $1 to your pledge, then select pick add-ons. Oh, okay, there you go. There you go, crows. Kodiak found it. Yay, Kodiak, our hero. Thanks for experimenting on that, Kodiak. And helping out. We appreciate that. Yeah, the biggest thing is sometimes I found with our first Shiloh, we were terrified of screwing him up. And you know, don't worry so hard. If you're mostly consistent, you're probably going to be okay. Because remember, you know, when she gets past a year, she's going to get more mature. You're going to see a bump, right? Sometimes a year and a half with Kiki. At about a year and a half, Kiki started acting like an adult dog, and now she's having her little bit of a you know, rebound into puppyhood, but in general, their energy level drops a lot. It scales down. Like about a year and a half, you'll see that energy, that crazy puppy energy, start to drop. And then it's a little bit easier. But yeah, have as much of a foundation. Just be consistent. What will happen, I think, because they're such smart dogs, Kodiak, if you are consistent, the dog will stop jumping up on you. And the people who are not consistent, the dog will not stop jumping up on. At which point, you can gently point out to them that the dog does not jump up on you because you did the thing. Maybe they should start doing the thing. We always love to be right, right? Vindicated. All right. So this little dagger, it has there's a top on it too, which makes it hard. I'm going to try to edge white around it. It's so small though. If this was a bigger model, it'd be very easy. But instead, I'm going to just have to try to use the edge of my brush to very gently edge highlight this. Man, the spam calls this morning are crazy. My phone, it's a good thing I keep my phone on mute all the time. They still think I live in Texas, and it's probably all political calls. I have no idea. There we go. So using the side of the brush with very little paint on the brush and very thin paint, I can get that really fine edge. See it? That little white edge around the top there. And then I can maybe do a little bit of highlighting toward the back. Yeah, regression is totally a thing. Yeah, most Kickstarter type platforms do require you to actually put $1 in before they will let you in. So that makes sense, the whole dollar and then hit add-ons. I think that's pretty okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of shadow in the front here. There, like that a little better. All right, that's pretty good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Then we need this shoulder pad over here. And then the hammer, but that's not, oh, and let's do the earring. I'll get some pure white in here. Oh, little ear. Yeah, I thought Kiki was really high energy, but I'd forgotten that a lot of that is puppy energy. She still has energy, but she has an off switch too. We just needed to wait until she was old enough to figure out that she had an off switch. Yeah, that's just puppy energy. It'll dissipate. And it's just like little kids. Having a hyperactive little kid around the house. It's just that they have so much energy. Just trying to get a little bit of highlight here onto these horns. You can say that's a trip both. Yeah, there we go. Plus, having little kids, this probably also helps to rile up the puppy. Kids tend to do that. Oh. Kids are easier because you can communicate with them, right? You don't speak dog. Kids are generally made in-house. Well, you can make puppies in-house. I mean, I've done that. Kind of mentally preparing myself, although I still have to get Kiki's hips done before we know if we move forward. Somebody might actually, there's a breeder right now looking at using her brother who has his testing finished. I'm just not in a hurry. I know how much work having a litter is going to be. I need to start thinking about timing. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, Kodiak, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I learned some dog training when I was a kid, and it helped me when I got dogs when I got older. Different breeds, but so just lightening up these horns so that I can start to get a feel. And of course the feathers I'll have to do some shading on as well. That helps. Helps to pull the eye up to have that light up there. It might be okay. Oh, that's all right. Health testing is what it is. The thing to get in the head, like, honestly, Kodiak, just go into it, understand that we try really hard to breed healthy dogs, but, like, the dice roll the way the dice roll. And even with all of our safeguards, like, we still see affected pups, you know, with various disorders. We just see less of them. And we just keep working on that, right? So it's like, it's possible that your dog may not pass, but you know what? You still have an awesome dog. And chances are, I mean, the numbers are with you because in general, pups are healthy, but it is what it is. So that's why it's like I never understand people who don't like health test when we ask them to, because it's like if your dog does have something, you want to learn about it early so that you can try to help them with it, right? Oh, a lot of the stuff we see is relatively mild. When you're testing, we're testing like for the auscultation or the echo, you know, testing for a healthy heart. That's probably the one that's the most fraught. But yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, it will be what it will be. And I'm just hoping for the best for you. Remember, I've had, this will be my 5th Shiloh, and none of my dogs had any issues with hips or elbows or hearts. So we just cross fingers and hope everything's great. And if something happens, we deal with it. At least you have your resource because you're with Mindy. She has years of experience as a veterinary technician. So you're kind of in good hands there. Yeah, exactly. You're crazy, Pa. Yeah, not testing doesn't make the problems disappear. It just means that you don't know about them. But, like, if I did have a dog with, like, borderline hips, I would want to take steps when they were younger to make sure that they could have the best quality of life possible, right? Like I'd make sure they didn't get overweight and stuff like that. There's stuff that you can do to help. Weight's a big one, though. That's something that Kiki's actually started to be. She's just got a little bit of pudge on her, and I'm just like, oh, you're on a diet. She just doesn't need as much food. That's the thing, right? As they get older, they don't need as much food as they had when they were puppies. So I'm just slowly scaling back her kibble a little bit at a time and still feeding her farmer's dog. So she'll end up having less kibble and more farmer's dog percentage in her diet, which is what I wanted anyway. But just slowly scaling back. I feed her, though, we feed her on a schedule. We feed her a weighed portion every day, so. Yeah, Crowley, have fun. Yes, deposit the food litter and run. Yep. Yeah, because when you can keep them at a healthy weight, the hip dysplasia may not develop clinical signs. Like, yeah. Yeah. Spoke to Mindy, who strongly went against that theory. Yes, absolutely. Puppies will eat, like, maybe back in the dawn of time, like, they always say that babies only eat as much as they need to, right? And that we only get food disorders when we get older. But we also have a lot, like, some of these animals have survival instincts that when food is plentiful, you eat. So I feel like, yeah, I'm with Mindy on that. I always weigh my food. We weigh our kibble. The farmer's dog stuff comes apportioned, so I know that we're feeding consistently there. Where's mine, Cornico? You don't need any more miniatures, nommers, and attackers. Oh yeah, and you can totally, as she gets bigger, you can go down from that 4 times for sure. Kiki's down to twice a day now. We feed morning and evening. So she gets her breakfast when I get mine, and she gets her lunch or her supper when we get ours. And then we give her, when I eat lunch, I freeze a bit of chicken-flavored baby food onto one of those licky mats, and I give her that. Or I give her a bully stick or something to chew on. There we go. So our horns are lighter. Yeah, I think that now the horns are in to kind of balance out in these feathers. I think that that's framing the face enough that I won't have to lighten up the scales. Maybe a little bit more highlight on the snout and up the ridges of the face. A little bit lighter, more greenish. I'll probably take that color and I'll mix some lemon yellow into it. And go just up the middle to pull the eye up. And I'll keep these scales darker on the legs. Yep, have fun. Have a good lunch, Shadowraven. Yeah, the Kiki would definitely keep eating if I let her. And she's like 76 pounds now, I think, but when I feel her sides, I have to press to feel ribs, and that is a sign that your dog is too pudge. So interesting, Carmel. Yeah, that's interesting, Thormel. Cool, it's pretty cool. We've had good lifespans with our Shilohs in general. We've been lucky, knock on artificial wood. All my dogs live to between 11 and 13. And Kiri's kids We lost one earlier to bloat, but other than that, her kids have all lived to between that age range as well. She has a daughter born in 2011 who's still going right now, and who will turn 13 in May. And that's a pretty good run. I'm cool with that. 12, 13 years, it's a good run for a big dog. There we go. Oh, I have little horns up there too I've got to get. Alrighty. Yeah, so the horns look good. It's starting to look good. Let's do it back out here. Alright, so the model now, and I still have to do that other shoulder pad, but the model now definitely has some lighter areas. Like the lighter stuff is gathering toward the top, and the darker stuff, although I'll do the claws down here, will be dark. The darker stuff's mostly toward the bottom, and then it gets brighter as we go north. So that's good, because then even if you look at the tight pattern of the leg scales here, everything will lead your eye up to the head. So that's good. Oh, I forgot to drink my tea. I didn't finish it this morning, so I dragged it here with me, and then all this time, the whole stream, I forgot to drink my tea. It's very sad. Very sad. All right, well that's actually, let's just try to do this shoulder pad real quick here. Then we're in a pretty good area. We've just got the hammer left and some little NMM on the back, and then we're pretty good. We can get back to doing the scales and some more on the red. David switched off of his Skaven and started working on a model for our local convention, KublaCon, which is over the Memorial Day weekend. I haven't decided if I want to enter anything. The only thing I think I'll have done will be CrossFit Girl, Barbarian Elf. And she'll be good, but she's not like anything like crazy good. I don't think she can go up against David, who is building essentially a mini diorama to house his Griffin Rider. There are some fights I know I cannot win. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're crazy pie. Normally I drink it while I'm at the table, but this morning we were running late. David got up a little late, and when that happens, it all kind of snowballs. So I didn't get my usual relaxed time at the breakfast table, where I usually like slowly sip my tea in happiness, you know, before the stream. I had to kind of rush, so that led to me gobbling down my food and not finishing my tea, and you know, and so on. Alrighty. Oh. Yeah, meds. Meds are important. I started taking creatine, actually, which helps in ATP take up from fat cells. It's just supposed to aid with that kind of thing. It does a few other things too. Interestingly, it's one of the most studied supplements, and they've linked it to helping with things like depression and even, I think, like bipolar, things like that. A lot of lifters use it because it's supposed to help energy uptake from fat cells, because you're trying to burn off fat. Oh yeah, allergy refills. Oops, I forgot. Oh no. Antibiotic. Yeah, I feel it, Kodiak. Yeah, you need a med reminder cat. Yeah, I know, Gibson. I always look carefully at the studies for that sort of thing. But there are a lot of studies on creatine. So there's a lot out there to review. It doesn't upset my gut, and we'll see. It's supposed to help during like exercise sessions and stuff. So help you sustain your energy during exercise better. We'll see if it's true. Or maybe it'll just be #placebo. And I'm okay with that too, as long as I have more energy. If it's not upsetting my gut. Yeah, if it's not upsetting my gut and... Oh, strep throat. Dang, Kodiak, I'm glad you went to the doctor. Alright, so now we can see the light for the most part. I don't have... all of this is dark in here. I'll have to bring this leather up. There is a kind of a 3-stage... this leather is interesting. It's got this. So if I really wanted to, I could do gold edges on this leather and leave the brown in the middle, which would add more light to the upper torso. And most of this would stay darker. So I might consider that because, I mean, it would take a lot of fine brush control, but... Your cream egg. Those are my only Easter candy that I still have, Kerniko, and I allow myself one a year. One a year. Yeah, I have good pain tolerance too, Kodiak, so I've been in that place. I'm glad that you're on antibiotics, though. But yeah, we'll see with the creatine. I'm taking it at lower doses, so that it'll take about a month to max out, hypothetically. But we'll see how my endurance is for the workouts and stuff. But yeah, I'm fine. As long as it doesn't upset my gut, if it helps with my energy during workouts and lets me, sustain, I'm all into it. Yeah, it was the one Easter candy as a kid that I just would not compromise on, was the cream egg. It's the only milk chocolate that I actually enjoy. Maybe I'll let myself have one more. I already have mine, but they're still at the store, and I'm like, When is Easter this year? When are the cream eggs going away? That's all that I ever care about. Is when are the cream eggs going away? Let's see. Easter is the 31st. Okay, so we've got some time. Oh, it's the day after goat yoga. Maybe I should get myself a cream egg for goat yoga. All right. Yeah, cream eggs are the best. Like, it's the only Easter candy as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully, it's highly contagious, isn't it, Kodiak? I hope your family are okay. At least if they get a sore throat, you know what it probably is. All right, guys. I think we'll call that there. Let's back up a little bit again so we can take a look at our dragon. So especially from this side, we've got this light that's pulling the eye up to the top here. After I shade and highlight this feather, we'll have a little bit more of that. But I think this is pretty successfully, like, pulling your eye. This whole thing, this side looks really good. I have to finish that shoulder pad still. Oh, I do like licorice, yeah. I can't have jelly beans anymore. They're made with glucose jelly, I think. A lot of hard candy is as well, I found out. And I assume it's just to keep it a little softer, but I react to that stuff now with the IBS. Like, glucose and fructose are right out for me. Oh, okay. She's fine. No one else has developed symptoms. Yep. Oh, well, good. Good, Kodiak. Good. Yeah, North American chocolate. Well, and now did you read that their candy companies are lowering the amount of chocolate in their candy bars and stuff because cocoa has gotten so expensive? So, like, in the UK, the size of the Mars bar went down by, like, a certain number of grams. Yep. Yeah, so watch your chocolate bar sizes and see if they shrink. Oh, you don't know if Rhonda's going to be on? Okay, Quindy. Well, then maybe there's a Rhonda, or maybe there's not a Rhonda. And I guess we'll find out. So tomorrow, hey guys, guess what? Tomorrow is 90-day mini day with our very muted elf. Very muted elf. So muted. I like this, though. I like the way it looks. Everything is looking good now. You see how the purples look good together? Because we changed that. Yeah, cream eggs are smaller. Yep. Yeah, it keeps getting more expensive, and they keep shrinking the chocolate, right, Turgeon? Yep. All right, well, we've got Elquin tomorrow, so I hope y'all sign on and watch us paint him. And I hope you guys have a lovely day. And yeah, and hopefully we're all gearing up to have a good week, all right? Alrighty, right? Okie dokie. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Quindy, as always, for riding herd on the stream. Thank you all for chiming in. And yeah, have a great day. Bye-bye.